Hi, I'm Mark Barsamian with the Math Department at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. I'm the coordinator for the course Math 1350, Survey of Calculus. This is an introductory video for the fall 2022 semester, Math 1350. This fall semester, the course has 24 different sections. This is a large multi-section course. Those 24 sections are taught by 8 different instructors. Now, I'm not the instructor for any of those sections. I'm the course coordinator, as I said before. That means that I work behind the scenes. I've developed the homework assignments, I write the quizzes and the exams. I've developed a large collection of instructional videos that accompany the homework assignments. I write the meeting outlines for the in-person Wednesday, Friday meetings. I supervise those 8 instructors, and when issues come up with students, I will sometimes meet with students, sometimes meet with students and instructors. But otherwise, you might actually go the whole semester without seeing me in person. You'll get used to seeing my face in the instructional videos because there are a lot of them. But otherwise, I work behind the scenes. Now, this video will start by looking at the Blackboard page for the course. That'll be our launch point. Here we are at my Blackboard page. Yours will look a little bit different, but you should have a list of courses that you're taking on your Blackboard page. Here I've got a list of all the courses that I'm involved with teaching. A bunch of them are Math 1350 sections. I'll click on one of these. All the Blackboard pages for the various Math 1350 sections will look the same, at least at the beginning of the semester. So I'll click on the Blackboard page for Math 1350, section 124. Here we are at the Blackboard page for Math 1350, section 124. As I said before, all of the sections of 1350 start the semester having Blackboard pages that look the same. Now, on this Blackboard page, you can see that there are not very many menu items. There are only these 4. The top one is this course information menu item. That's for the current page that we're looking at. And then there are these 3 other ones. A link here to send an email to your instructor. There's a link here to what are called digital course materials. There's a link here to see a page that shows your grades, your current scores for the course. Now, here on the course information page, you'll see fairly prominently this immediate tasks for the students item. As soon as possible, you should come to Blackboard and do these tasks. First of all, watch the introductory video. You're doing that now. Good. And then you should watch the video illustrating how to set up MyLab. There's a link to that video farther down this Blackboard page. Then you should set up MyLab and start working on homework assignments. The first homework assignments are due in this course already on Wednesday, August 24th. You should also come to this page and find your student number in the list below and look for your upcoming class presentations. I'll be talking about that more later. But you'll come to this Blackboard page, go down here to the bottom. You can see this list of all the students in section 124. Actually, these are fake names, but the idea is you'll come to this Blackboard page, you'll find your name, and next to the name your student number, and you'll use that to look up your class presentation assignments. So that's the main content of this course information page in Blackboard. Now let's go back down and find that link that will take us out of Blackboard to the course web page. Here, the Math 1350 web page. As I said earlier, you don't do that much stuff on Blackboard. Those 4 menu items up here are the extent of the Blackboard experience. You'll come here to sort of get launched off to other places. Come here to find the digital course materials link, or come down here to find this link to the Math 1350 web page. So here I've clicked on that link and it's taken me to this web page that's outside of Blackboard. So in fact, this is a publicly accessible web page. You don't have to come to Blackboard to get to this web page. You will always know that you can find this web page by going to Blackboard in order to find that link. We came to Blackboard and we found this link to the web page. But in fact, this web page has a URL that you could type into any web browser. You can even navigate to this web page on your phone. So you don't have to go to Blackboard to find this web page. So this web page is the information for the Athens campus sections of Math 1350. Here's a complete list of those sections. You can find it here on the main web page. You can see that all 24 sections are listed along with their meeting times and meeting locations and their instructor names and their instructors' emails. So you can always find your instructor and your class meeting time and location here on this main web page. Farther down this web page is a link to the introductory video. Now that's actually a link to last year's, but you'll find a link to the current video when you come to this web page. There's also a link to the video illustrating how to set up MyLab. So both of these videos, the introductory video that you're watching and the video illustrating how to set up MyLab, can be reached two different ways. You can go to Blackboard and find links to those videos, or you can come here to the Math 1350 web page and find links to those videos. Well, let's go farther down this web page to see some essentials about how the course works. The first thing that I want to talk about is what's called the hybrid format of this course. This course is delivered in a hybrid format, and that means that there are two components to the way that the course is taught. Course component 1 is instructional videos and online homework. The videos were developed for this course by me, Mark Barsamian, the Math 1350 coordinator, and those videos present all of the mathematical content for the course in full detail. And in particular, the videos are designed to present the concepts and skills needed to do the homework assignments that are worked online in that MyLab system that you'll reach through the digital course materials link on the Blackboard page. Each video has accompanying printed notes, and those notes can be viewed online or downloaded. The collection of all the videos can be accessed 4 different ways. Through a YouTube playlist, you can click here on this link and be taken to a YouTube playlist for the Math 1350 videos. There's the complete list of all the Math 1350 videos. You can also find the links in the course schedule. We'll be talking about that later. You can find the links in a list of homework assignments for the course. That's this list. And you can also find links to the videos within the individual homework assignments that you'll find in that MyLab math system, the online homework system for the course. As an alternative or supplement to learning the material for the course by watching the videos, you can also learn the material for the course by reading the textbook. There is an e-text version of the textbook that's available in the MyLab system. So that's course component number 1, the instructional videos and the accompanying online homework. As I said, this course is a hybrid format. It consists of 2 components. The second course component is Wednesday-Friday meetings that are led by the instructor. These meetings are held in person on the Athens campus, and the time and location of the meetings is available in 2 places. As I mentioned earlier, at the top of this web page, there's a list of all the sections for the course with their meeting times and locations. You can also find the time and location of your class meetings on the Ohio University course offerings web page. Now, attendance at the Wednesday-Friday meetings is required. Now, about the meetings. The Wednesday-Friday meetings are discussions. The purpose of these meetings is not delivery of mathematical content. Remember, the mathematical content is delivered through course component number 1, watching those instructional videos and or reading the textbook. So that's not what the Wednesday-Friday meetings are about. Rather, these meetings are a chance for the instructor to highlight certain topics, or maybe present a few additional examples, or maybe pose questions that the students will answer. Also, most importantly, the Wednesday-Friday class meetings will include contributions by the students in the form of what are called student presentations. Those are one of the following 3 types. One type is this: the student will present a basic example. Another type is the student will present a certain part of an example that the instructor is presenting the rest of. Another type of class presentation or student presentation is this: the instructor might just simply pose a question and ask a student to answer it. Now, each student presentation assignment will be posted in the course schedule at least a week before the student presentations to be made in class. So you'll have plenty of time to prepare for your presentations. Another activity in the Wednesday, Friday class meetings is quizzes and exams. We'll have written quizzes and written exams on certain Wednesdays and Fridays during those class meetings. So that's the two course components. The first component, course component number 1, is getting the mathematical content by watching the instructional videos and sort of practicing that mathematical content by doing the online homework. And then course component number 2 is the Wednesday, Friday meetings, which are discussions. So that's the course format. Now, I mentioned earlier the course schedule. If you come to this web page, in this section about course essentials, you'll find this link to the schedule for the semester. So here we are looking at the schedule for Math 1350. This web page is divided up into sections, one for each of the 15 weeks of the semester. So in each week you'll find a list of the sections and content that we're going to be covering that course that week. You'll find a list of all the homework assignments that are due in the MyLab system that week. And then you'll find the meeting topics for each meeting of the semester. So for instance, let's go look at the Wednesday, August 31st meeting. If I click there, I see here the outline for that Wednesday, August 31st meeting. The instructor will kick things off with some discussion, and then a student will give a presentation. Student number 5 will give their first presentation. Now remember how to find out who these students are. On your Blackboard page, student number 5 is Natasha Romanoff. Well, not really, that's a fake name, but you'll come to the Blackboard page to find out what your student number is. You'll keep an eye out for a presentation assignment assigned for you, for your student number, and you'll read the assignment here on the web page, and you'll see how it works into the class meeting for that day, because there it is in the list of topics for that meeting. Now, it might seem kind of intimidating to have to give presentations, but you'll see that for every presentation on this web page, there are suggestions of what to study in order to prepare for doing that presentation. So for instance, on Wednesday, August 31st, student number 6 will give their presentation number 1. It's suggested that they should go watch the video for homework 11 and read the notes. Here are the notes from the video for homework 11. So these notes are produced during the making of the videos, and so you can read these much like you would read a book. And so the skills that are needed in order to do this presentation are presented in that video and in those notes. Now, if we go down farther on the schedule entry for Wednesday, August 31st, you'll see that quiz 1 will be given in the last part of that Wednesday, August 31st class meeting. So remember I said that these Wednesday, Friday meetings are time for discussion. The instructor will introduce some topics, students will contribute by doing presentations, and there will sometimes be quizzes or exams on those Wednesday, Friday meetings. So August 31st, there's a quiz. September 7th, there's a quiz, Wednesday. And then Friday, September 16th, there's an exam number 1. So that's the schedule for the course. So we've talked about 2 of the essentials of the course, the hybrid course format. I've shown you the schedule. I also want to talk about the grading. Here on this main course webpage is a description of the course grading system. The way that this course is graded is that you will accumulate points in the course, up to a total possible of 1,000 points. You'll get points for doing presentations, you'll get points for doing quizzes, and for taking exams, and for taking the final exam. At the end of the semester, your points total will be divided by 1,000 to get a percentage. And then the percentage will be converted into your course letter grade using this grading scale shown here on this web page, this 85, 70, 55, 40 grading scale. Now during the semester, you can keep track of your current grade in the course. you can keep track of all of your scores on the graded items, the class presentations, the quizzes, the exams, and the final exam. You can find scores for all these things in the Blackboard gradebook. Of course, we'll be handing back graded quizzes and exams, so you'll be able to see your grades on those right away. And with those scores, you can fill out this grade calculation worksheet that you can find on this web page. Here's a link to it. I click on that. It brings up this page that you can fill out. So you'll put your scores on your various graded items, quizzes, class presentations, exams, and so forth, in this first white column. And in the second column, you'll keep a running total of all of your scores up to that point. And then in this gray column here, you can see the current points total that's possible at each point in the semester. And so you can divide your current score total by the current points total possible to get your current percentage and then your current letter grade. Let me give you an example of how that would work. Here's a sample of a partially filled out grade calculation worksheet. This student has taken quiz 1, 2, and 3, has done one presentation, has taken an exam, and then has taken quiz 4. So in chronological order, this student has 6 scores that they've earned. And you can see the item points that are possible for each of those items shown in this first gray column. In this first white column, you can see the scores that student got. In this next white column, you can see that student has added up those scores at each point in the sequence to see what their running total is. So for instance, after having taken quiz 1 and quiz 2, these first 2 graded items, that student had a points total of 26 points. At that point in the semester, there were 40 points possible, so that means that that student had earned 65% of the possible points. So that means that they, according to the grading scale in this course, their current grade was a C+. Now, after taking exam 1, if that student added up all their points for the semester so far, they had earned a total of 192 points. Now, at that point in the semester, there's a total of 270 points possible. So at that point in the semester, the student's percentage was 71.1%. Well, using our grading scale, that's a B-. So that's what I mean by saying that you can, during the semester, keep track of your current grade by filling out this grade calculation worksheet. Now, before we leave the discussion of the grading system, let me mention another thing. There are 2 items that are not part of your course grade. Attendance. Attendance is recorded, but it's not part of your course grade. And homework. The MyLab system that you'll use for doing your homework online scores your homework assignments, but those scores are not used in your course grade. But that's not to say that you don't need to do the homework. The only way to succeed in this course is to practice the skills by doing those homeworks. So you definitely should do the MyLab homework. So we're continuing our discussion of how the course works. We've discussed the hybrid course format, we've discussed the schedule, we've discussed the grading. The last essential thing that I want to talk about is required computer tools. One required computer tool is Blackboard, which you probably already know how to use. Blackboard is a free, what's called learning management system, LMS. Another required computer tool is MyLab Math. That's the online system that's developed by Pearson, the publisher of our textbook. You'll use the MyLab system for accessing an e-text version of the textbook and also for doing homework assignments. Now, MyLab is probably something you're not familiar with. There are some instructions for accessing MyLab here on this web page. There's also a link on the Blackboard page. So if you click on this link, you'll be taken to this web page that explains how to set up MyLab. There's also the video that I mentioned earlier about setting up MyLab. There's also some important information about paying for MyLab. MyLab is not free, but you don't pay for it by getting out a credit card and paying on some website. You pay for it through what's called the Inclusive Access Program at Ohio University. For more information about that program, click on this link, Information about the Inclusive Access Program. Well, now we've talked about all 4 essentials of how the course works. We've talked about the course format, we've talked about the schedule, we've talked about the grading, and we've talked about required computer tools. So here are 2 essential tasks. I mentioned this when we were looking at the Blackboard page. Follow the instructions to get MyLab configured. Your first homework assignments will be due on Wednesday, August 24th in the MyLab system. To succeed on those assignments, you're going to need time to watch the accompanying videos and learn the content. So therefore, it's very important that you get MyLab configured right away. So that's one immediate task. Another immediate task is to find your student number in the list on the Blackboard page. And then here is a suggestion for a study routine. You should organize your work by keeping your eye on 2 schedules. One schedule is in the MyLab system. There's a list of homework assignments with due dates. You should keep an eye on the upcoming homework due dates and do the assignments and submit them. The other schedule is at the link above on this web page. We discussed that schedule earlier. This link here takes you to the schedule for this course. You should keep an eye on that schedule and keep an eye on the meeting topics for upcoming meetings. And keep an eye out for presentations that are assigned for you to do. Those assignments are organized by student number, so you should know your student number and keep an eye on that web page schedule to find out upcoming presentations that you'll have to do. Now remember that the mathematical skills that you need for the homework assignments, the class presentations, the quizzes, the exams, all of those skills are taught in the instructional videos that accompany the homework assignments. Well, there's more stuff on this web page that I won't discuss in detail. I'll talk a little bit here about the attendance policy. As I mentioned above, attendance is required for all the class meetings. Attendance is not part of the grade, but it is recorded. If you miss class for any reason, it's your responsibility to learn the stuff that you missed. You can do this through a combination of things. You can copy a classmate's notes. You can study the meeting outline that's found in the course schedule on this web page. You can watch the instructional videos that accompany the assignments. Those are all things that you can do to learn what you missed when you miss a class. Your instructor won't use office hours or personal meetings to teach topics to students who were absent. It's just not feasible for the student to do that. Now, if you miss a quiz or an exam because of illness, then you should do this. You should send your instructor an email before the quiz or exam and tell them that you're going to miss it because of illness. And then you should go to the Student Health Center, and then you should bring your instructor documentation from the health center showing that you were treated. Without those things, you won't get to have a makeup for a quiz that you've missed because of illness. You have to communicate with your instructor and tell them that you're going to miss because of illness. So if you wake up too sick to come to class, you need to email right away before class. Tell them you're not going to be there. You need to go to the doctor, get a note from the doctor, and bring those to your instructor. Now, missing quizzes or exams because of university activity. If you have a university activity that conflicts with one of the quizzes or exams, then you must contact your instructor before the quiz or exam to discuss arrangements for makeup. They'll need to see documentation of your activity. All university activities, official university activities, will have documentation for you to give to your instructor. But again, you have to notify your instructor in advance. You can't show up a week after an exam and say, I missed last week's exam because I was on a field trip for such and such an activity. You have to arrange things before you're going to miss a quiz or exam. And then finally, missing presentations, quizzes, or exams because of personal travel. This class meets on Wednesdays and Fridays, and attendance is required. Your personal travel home for the weekend or out of town for vacations and so forth, should be scheduled to not conflict with those Wednesday, Friday meetings. If you miss a presentation or a quiz or an exam because of personal travel that is not an official university activity, then you won't be given a makeup. All right, as I said, there's some more stuff down farther on this web page. I won't go over any more of this content. I'll let you read the web page in detail. Well, that's the end of this introductory video. We've discussed the course Blackboard page, the course web page. On the course web page, we discussed the course format, the hybrid format with the two components. We've discussed the course schedule, how that works. We've discussed the grading system. We discussed the computer tools that you'll need for the course, Blackboard and the MyLab system. So at this point, all that's left is for you to dive in and get to work. Now you'll find that this course is a lot of work. I think you've probably already gotten that idea. When we have 85 homework assignments, there's not much that I can do to dress that up. It's a lot of work. But I think you'll find that it's productive work. In the last couple of years that we've been using this course format, we found that students do work hard, but they do tend to succeed. I'm always impressed with how much students are able to contribute to the class discussions. The class presentations might seem intimidating, but again, students fairly quickly realize they're not a big deal, and so I think that you'll work hard, but I think that you'll find it productive work. I hope that you do, and I hope that you succeed and have a great semester. Thank you.